It is your saviour, Sam Graves here, and welcome to another new series of mine. It is going to be 1999, Was It Divine? So, in this series, I take a look at all WWF, all ECW, and all WCW pay-per-views from 1999. Yay me. WCW, I'm really not looking forward to. WWF, hit or miss, 99. ECW, never watched the shows, so I don't know anything about them. WCW, of course, I'm not looking forward to in the slightest. So, we first look at ECW. This is episode 1. This is ECW Guilty as Charged, 1999. Yeah, I've never seen any ECW original shows in their entirety except Heatwave and Guilty as Charged 01. So I was looking forward to this show quite a lot. Heard a lot of good things from 99 and 2000, that ECW was at its peak in 99 and early 2000. So I was really looking forward to this show. But was it any good, or was it a complete waste of time? It is January the 10th, 1999. We are live from the Millennium Theatre in Kissimmee, Florida, which is just outside Orlando, and there is a crowd of 2,600 rabid Floridians on hand for ECW Guilty as Charged. Joey Styles is, of course, doing commentary, and I'll be blunt right off. Joey Styles is one of the best commentators in in wrestling history. The man is very underrated, I think, personally, and he is personally my favourite commentator because he does one thing: he actually calls every single bloody move in the match, and I love that, as well as doing the storyline. He's basically, because obviously at the time he was doing commentary just by himself. Of course, later down the line, he will be joined by Cyrus and Joel Gertner. So, in our opening concert... Oh, sorry, I forgot one thing. Paul Heyman, before this pay-per-view starts, he basically states that, unlike the other two companies, making reference to WCW and WWF, that there will be changes to the card. So, Masato Tanaka and Jerry Lynn are both injured. So the TV title match that RVD was supposed to take place in has now been changed. I imagine, by the sounds of it, it was a three-way dance. And because of the replacement, I'm guessing one of the guys was meant to face Lance Storm. But that's unfortunate. We'll get to see these guys in action later in the year, and Masato Tanaka and Jerry Lynn, both very good wrestlers in my opinion. So, in our opening contest, the Hardcore Chair Swinging Freaks, which is Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney, defeated the FBI, which is Tracy Smothers and Little Guido, and Danny Doring and Roadkill in an okay three-way dance match. This was fairly decent. 2.5 stars, this one. It is meant to be Doring and Roadkill versus the FBI, which is Tracy Smothers and Little Guido, and they're accompanied by Big Sal and Tommy Rich. And of course, just as the match is getting going, Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney come down to the ring and say, "Shall we make this a three-way dance?" Both teams agree, so let's get involved. Big brawl to start us off. In the ring, Danny Doring and Tracy Smothers are fighting. So not really much of note, but so a few really good spots in this one. Danny Doring and Roadkill are the first team eliminated after a double team fisherman suplex from the FBI. That eliminates Doring and Roadkill. And then it gets some good action here between Balls, Axel, and Smothers and Guido. Nice chair shot by Rotten. That gets 2 on Smothers after pins broken up by Tommy Rich. Smothers and Rich hit a really nice double team. A double team reverse DDT on Rotten. That gets 2. Balls breaks up the pin. Big Sal gets in the ring. He attempts to attack Rotten, but Sal gets taken out by Balls Mahoney with a really nice chair shot. And end of the match comes when Balls Mahoney hits the Nutcracker Suite on Tracy Smothers, and Axel Rotten hits a belly-to-belly suplex and double pin, gets the win for the hardcore, for the chair swinging freaks. About 10 minutes match. 2.5 stars, nothing wrong with this at all. Fun opener. Got the crowd hyped up, and yeah, just a quite enjoyable, decent match. After this, Terry Funk cuts a very good promo. After this, Terry Funk is pissed off with Tommy Dreamer because Terry Funk was not chosen as Tommy Dreamer's mystery tag partner in a match against the Impact Players, which is just incredible, and Lance Storm. Tommy decided to choose Jake the Snake Roberts. Instead, Terry Funk is pissed off, and he cuts quite an amazing promo here, and then basically tells the cameraman to fuck off at the end of the promo, which I laughed my arse off at. So, in our second match of the night, second match of the night, and what I consider to be match of the night, Tajiri defeated Super Crazy in a really, really good match. This is what you'd expect from these two. Gorgeous chain wrestling at the start. Really fast-paced match between Tajiri and Crazy. Moonsaults aplenty. Tajiri hits a really nice ass moonsault to the outside. Crazy moonsaults off the barricade onto Tajiri. That's really nice. Various submission holds exchanged between the two. Tarantula is broken by Crazy, manages to escape out of the Tarantula. Crazy attempts to go for a bridging crossface. Tajiri manages to escape that. Really nice sunset flip powerbomb off the top by Tajiri. That gets 2. Crazy hits standing moonsault. That gets 2. Really nice reverse tornado DDT off the top by Crazy. That gets 2. Tajiri hits multiple kicks, including a really nice drop salt. That gets 2. End of the match comes when Crazy attempts to go for a... Before this, really nice spike DDT by Crazy. That gets 2. End of the match comes when Crazy attempts to go for a German suplex, countered into a fucking dragon suplex by Tajiri with a bridge, gets the pin. About 11-12 minutes. A 3 3/4 stars match, put up to 4 because of the fact it features one of my favourite moves of all time, which of course is the dragon suplex. This match, it was Tajiri's pay-per-view debut for ECW. It was fucking great wrestling between these two. This is the first actual singles match I've seen between these two. Wasn't disappointed. And the next ECW pay-per-view, which will be episode 2, will be Living Dangerously. I am really looking forward to the rematch between these two. So, yeah, 3 3/4 stars. After this, there's a promo by someone after this. I can't remember who it was. There was a promo by someone. See, is that insignificant? I can't remember who it was. There was a backstage... Oh, that was it. It was a backstage promo by... cut by Bill No. I got it wrong. There was a backstage promo of some sort after this. So after this, John Cronus is in the ring. He is awaiting an opponent. I think it's an open challenge, this one. And Judge Jeff Jones makes his way down to the ring. The judge says tonight, getting as many names of the pay-per-view puns as he can in, and basically say, today this man is going to be your judge, jury, and executioner. And Sid Vicious makes his way down to the ring, and the crowd goes absolutely bonkers at this. So, in our third match of the night, Sid Vicious defeated John Cronus in a squash match. Basically, the match goes like this. Cronus attempts to beat down Sid. Sid no-sells his offense. Grabs Cronus, chokeslams him over the top rope through a table. Drops him on the guardrail a couple of times. Back in the ring, hits the powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. I'll give it half a star because it was entertaining and the crowd loved it. And I thought, for a 1 minute squash, it was perfectly fine. It made Sid look absolutely... Sid look like an absolute monster. And the crowd was behind him. So, fairly good match. This one. After this, Joey Styles is due to... his camera pans to Joey Styles. And Joey Styles explains... The Dudley Boys are not supposed to be here tonight. Now I'm being told that the Dudley Boys are going to be making their way down to the ring. So this is what happened next. Dudley Boys come down to the ring accompanied by Sign Guy Dudley, aka Louis Dangerously, Big Dick Dudley, and Joel Gertner. Joel cuts his usual funny promo, saying he wants to sleep with a load of women. Yada yada yada, usual Joel Gertner promo. And then Devon and Bubba Ray basically issue an open challenge, and the open challenge is answered by New Jack and Spike Dudley. So, in our fourth match of the night, the Dudley Boys, which is Bubba Ray and Devon, defeated New Jack and Spike Dudley in a meh tag team match. Literally, there was... this match was okay. There were some okay spots in it. It was just pretty much a load of weapon shots. New Jack gets 3D'd on the entrance ramp. He gets hit a couple of times in the face with a cookie tray. Spike basically hits an acid drop on Devon, Bubba Ray. He attempts to go for one on Big Dick Dudley, but Dick basically no-sells it, shoves him off. And the Dudley Boys hit 3D for the win at about 10 minutes. Again, nothing terrible in this match. Few good spots in it. Acid drops by Spike. Couple of 3Ds which were nice. And after the match, New Jack attempts to save Spike, but he gets absolutely battered by Devon and Bubba Ray issues a challenge, saying that they've destroyed the Eliminators. They've broken up the Gangsters, of course, New Jack and Mustafa. They broke Sandman's neck. And they're the best tag team in ECW. So the Dudley Boys issue a challenge to Public Enemy. Hooray. But they issue it for the next show at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia. So hopefully they're not going to be on the pay-per-view at Living Dangerously, because that match I don't imagine will be very good. After this, we get a video package highlighting how good RVD is and what RVD does, jumping and flying around the ring. In the back, Fonzie and RVD cut a rather good promo. Basically, RVD and Fonzie bigging up RVD, saying he's the champion of champions. He's one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions with Sabu. He's the ECW Television Champion, and RVD wants an opponent tonight. So, after this, Lance Storm is in the ring. He's accompanied, of course, by Dawn Marie. Lance Storm basically says he's the best thing on this show, and he wants a match. He basically demands a championship. He demands a high caliber opponent, because of course his scheduled opponent, which will either be Tanaka or Jerry Lynn, is not able to wrestle tonight. So instead, Storm demands Storm demands a championship opportunity because he wants gold by the end of the night. So of course RVD answers the challenge. RVD is basically his usual self, and comes out and says, "Yeah, cool, I'll accept your challenge." So in our fifth match of the night, RVD defeated Lance Storm in a good match to retain the ECW TV Championship. This match got off to quite a slow start. There wasn't really anything of note at all. RVD stalling like he usually does, putting himself over, guillotine leg drop on the off the apron onto the guardrail. Storm getting body dropped over the apron. decent, but nothing really spectacular until Dawn tries to interfere. Fonzie manages to basically take her out of the ring. That leaves him open to be baseball slid by Lance Storm. But that allows RVD to bring a chair in and hit a Van Daminator on Storm, but Storm rolls to the outside. Really good stuff between these two. Really good sequence involved. Pinning reversal sequence, which RVD gets the better of Storm. That gets 2. Storm basically tries to hit RVD with a chair. RVD does his usual, the usual sequence with ducking and sweeping, but Storm manages to outsmart him and manages to hit him with the chair. This is where the match starts picking up. Dawn Marie tries to interfere again, but Fonzie manages to grab her before she gets in the ring. RVD, basically Storm then grabs another chair, brings it into the ring. He attempts to hit RVD in the face with the chair, but RVD hits a Van Daminator, that gets 2. Storm grabs the chair again. Storm hits a really nice DDT on RVD, a tornado DDT, that gets 2. Storm attempts a superplex from the top rope, but that's countered into an inverted tornado DDT by Rob Van Dam. That gets 2. RVD tries to go for another Van Daminator, but Storm this time counters it by bonking RVD over the head with a chair. Storm goes up to the corner. He attempts to do another chair shot on RVD, but Fonzie grabs the chair and tries to hit Lance Storm with it. Storm blocks, and as Storm blocks, Storm basically, that throws Fonzie out the ring. Storm then goes to hit RVD with the chair. RVD ducks, and that basically, bam, goes the ref. The ref gets hit with a chair. After this, Dawn tries to interfere again. She attempts to... Dawn gets in the ring. She attempts to attempt thing, but Fonzie manages to grab her and pull her out of the ring before she interferes. This allows RVD to hit a bridging German suplex for the win at about 19 minutes. 3.5 stars, this one. A really solid match between Storm and RVD. It picked up, actually, after with the ref bump and the interference. It actually picked up this match, which I was quite surprised at. After the match, of course, RVD puts himself over, as only RVD would. Looking forward to see who RVD is going to be facing at the next pay-per-view, which of course will be Living Dangerously. After this, there's quite a good promo from Taz. Basically, the interviewer, I can't remember his name, Steve something. He basically goes into Taz's locker room. Basically, Taz says tonight that he's going to absolutely destroy Shane Douglas, and explains basically what he did to Sabu. The one thing I was going to say, there was a video package earlier in the show explaining how we got to the main event tonight. Basically, Shane coaxed, basically brought Taz in, coaxed Taz, causing dissension between Taz and Sabu, which caused Sabu to lose his championship match, allegedly breaking Sabu's neck. That will become a little more clearer later in the main event. Taz says he's going to basically beat the living crap out of Douglas tonight, and he basically can't be stopped. Well, we'll see where that leads to. So, we have 2 matches left on this show. So, in our next match, we had a rather good video package before this one, basically explaining what's been going on with Tommy Dreamer. And Just Incredible, Nicole Bass, Jazz, and the other guy's name, I can't remember his name. It'll come to me when it comes to me. Basically, Justin's entourage have been beating up Tommy, caning him to death. Beulah McGillicuddy was taken out by the Dudley Boys after a 3D on a chair. Or 3D through a table, sorry. Dreamer's been beaten from pillar to post. Basically, Justin has been embarrassing him and he can't seem to win a match without the help of his entourage. So, yeah, quite a personal storyline. This one is supposed to be for Dreamer to allow him to get revenge on Just Incredible. So, in our semi-main event, Just Incredible defeated Tommy Dreamer in a good Stairway to Hell match. Now, basically, what a Stairway to Hell match is, there's a Singapore cane hanging above the ring, and basically the first person to take it down is allowed to use it as a weapon. So it's basically a TLC match with pinfalls with a Singapore cane hanging above the ring. You know, quite a simple premise. Winners by pinfall or submission. This match, compared to the Dudley Boys match, this match was a hell of a lot better. A lot more story going into it. Some really innovative spots this one, including credible tipping Dreamer over from a ladder through a table on the outside. That was really good. Dreamer having his jaw smashed in with a ladder. You know, there's some really, really, really gruesome spots in this one. So Dreamer being tipped over on a ladder through a table on the outside. Dreamer hitting a really nice German suplex off the apron, from the apron onto the floor. That must have caned because there was no mats at ringside. Double ladder spot, including a really nice cutter off a ladder by Dreamer on basically hit a cutter or an RKO off a ladder by Dreamer onto Credible. That was really nice. That got 2. Dreamer driver from the top rope got 2. Credible hitting a really nice reverse DDT onto a ladder. That got 2. Dreamer hitting a DDT on a chair. That got 2. Credible hitting a really, really nice power slam onto a ladder. That got 2. End of the match basically comes when Dreamer hits the DDT on Credible. He manages to, Credible pulls down the cane. Dreamer hits a DDT on him. Dreamer's basically about to batter him with the cane when he's got his back turned to the ramp. Terry Funk comes down the ramp, grabs a bin, smashes it over the back of Dreamer's head, and that's Incredible on the ladder, gets the win at about 20 minutes. 3.5 stars. You know, this was a really, really solid match. Good story work from both these guys. Pretty decent hardcore brawl. The man who I was thinking of was Jason, was who I was thinking of. Also, Jazz making her first in-ring appearance as well. She hit a really nice snap suplex on Dreamer in the match when she was interfering. All 3 members of the entourage of Credible interfered. So Nicole Bass, cheap shot earlier in the match. Dreamer got hit by a cheap shot by Bass. Jazz hit a really nice snap suplex on him, and Jason broke up a couple of pins in this match, and also hit a really nice swinging neck breaker. Probably the spot of the match for me though was the swinging DDT by Credible on Dreamer. That got 2, and that was probably the spot of the match. After the match, basically Terry Funk gets in the ring, screams at Dreamer, because obviously he's pissed off not being chosen to fight off Credible and Jason. So Dreamer's basically laid out on the floor. Both of them getting a few beats after the bell, and Terry Funk forms an alliance with Just Incredible. So hopefully at the next pay-per-view it'll probably be either Terry Funk versus Just Incredible, or Terry Funk versus Dreamer, or Terry Funk and Just Incredible versus Tommy Dreamer and a partner of his choosing. That would make sense. So after this, there's quite an awful promo cut by Shane Douglas, basically bragging how he's a 3-time ECW champion, he's going to beat Taz, and basically what he did to Sabu, and basically what's been done to Sabu, and that he's the franchise, and that he will be the ECW champion for as long as he lives, as long as he effing lives, is what he says. Here comes fun. So, in our main event, Taz defeated Shane Douglas in a shite match to win the ECW championship. Now, this match is shite for a number of reasons. Shane, of course, is accompanied by Francine. Good, quite a good bit of chain wrestling to start off by these two at the start. Taz hits Tazplex. Douglas rolls out of the ring. Douglas gets back in. He attempts to out-wrestle Taz again. Taz basically hits him with a belly-to-belly suplex. Douglas then rolls out of the ring, shouts at him, "Fuck it, I've had enough." Taz is getting pissed off here because of the fact that Douglas is not getting back in the ring. Douglas is being a pussy. So Taz basically batters him, and they start brawling in the crowd for the best part of about 5 or 10 minutes. Includes both men being busted open. Shane gets busted open after being thrown headfirst onto a concrete divide, and Taz gets busted open when he gets his head banged against an iron railing multiple times. After what seems like an endless fucking brawling in the crowd, both men get back in the ring. Shane throws Taz through a table in the corner. That gets 2. Taz does it in kind. That gets 2. Double KO spot leads to some music playing. Sabu makes his way down to the ring. He batters both men, because of course in ECW there is no disqualifications in any matches. He batters both men, including he puts both men through tables, including hitting a really nice twisting splash on Douglas, which puts him through a table. He puts Taz through a table with an Arabian leg drop. Douglas then crawls over, pins Taz. That gets 2. You see what I mean by this fucking match. It is fucking full of overbooked finishes. After this, Chris Candido and Sonny make their way down to the ring. Sonny and Francine start having a cat fight. Crowd goes mental. Chris Candido then basically turns on Shane Douglas. They're part of the Triple Threat stable. Him, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Chris Candido. Candido hits a really nice DDT on Douglas. Taz gets a 2 count off that. This is so fucking overbooked. It's ridiculous. Then after this, Taz simply clamps on the Taz mission and Douglas passes out. 22 minutes and 35 seconds. This match was fucking shite. Overbooked to hell. Boring crowd brawling. These two could have just had a normal wrestling match. Fair enough, they wanted to use weapons, and I wouldn't have minded Sabu interfering because it would have made sense. But with Sabu interfering, Chris Candido interfering, Francine interfering, Sonny interfering, this match was just overbooked to hell and was just fucking shite. Taz's first championship win, world title win, and he wins it in a shite match. Dud, I am giving this one. Worst match of the night by a country mile. Most of this was due to fucking Shane Douglas, because Shane Douglas was fucking shite in this match. Taz was perfectly fine. Sabu was perfectly fine with his interference, but just overbooked, crowd brawling. Douglas looked fucking terrible in this match. Taz, all of his moves were good and crisp. Douglas, in the chain wrestling, he managed to botch an arm drag takedown. He managed to botch a German suplex. He even managed to botch a low blow, which God knows how on earth someone can botch doing a low blow. Basically, by completely missing Taz's crotch. So, yeah, I'm giving that one a dud, because it was literally no redeeming qualities about it whatsoever. So, this pay-per-view, the first one of 1999, was a fairly decent show with, one meh match, which was New Jack and Spike Dudley versus Devon and Bubba Ray. A really terrible main event between Douglas and Taz. I do hope to God that Living Dangerously, those two are not wrestling in the same match again, because I really don't want to see a rematch between these two. Sabu versus Taz, I haven't got a problem with that. It'd be interesting to watch a match between those two. But the match between Douglas and Taz was awful, utterly terrible. Rest of the show was fairly good. A decent opener, really good match between Tajiri and Crazy. A fun squash match with Sid versus Cronus. Really good match between RVD and Lance Storm, and a really good match between Tommy Dreamer and Just Incredible. I hope that at Living Dangerously we're going to get either a tag match or a one-on-one match between Dreamer and Funk. Because, I mean, perfect sense in this match would probably be, a mystery. Would be Tommy Dreamer and a mystery partner versus Credible and Terry Funk would make the most sense, but we'll see when we get there. Overall, pretty good show. I mean, you've got a 3.5 star match with RVD versus Lance Storm. You've got a 3 3/4 match with Dreamer versus Just Incredible, and a 4-star match between Tajiri and Crazy, and a 2.5 star match with the opener. So, I know, but the problem is with this show, the squash match isn't really one you can rate very highly, because of course it only went about a minute and a half. The match between the Dudley Boys and New Jack and Spike Dudley was pretty crap. It was meh. It wasn't anything to write home about. It was okay. 2-star match. And the main event was an utter shitefest. So dud with 8 minutes of crowd brawling, interference aplenty, and it makes Taz look weak, to be honest. Because the last match that Taz beat Shane Douglas, and he beat him in under 3 minutes. So overall, with 2 great matches, 1 really good match and 1 decent match, but with 1 meh match and 1 shite match, I'm going to go give this pay-per-view 6.5 out of 10. The way I will be doing this pay-per-view series, I will be doing ECW first, then I shall do WCW, then I'll do WWF. So my next episode of this series of 99 Was It Divine will be ECW Living Dangerously, which is from March 99. So, that match has got that's got the first ever RVD Jerry Lynn match on it. What a match I'm really looking forward to watching, considering I've recently watched Guilty as Charged, and the match they had there was really good. So the first match between them should hopefully be as good, if not better. So I've been your saviour, Sam Graves. Thank you for listening to my review of ECW Guilty as Charged 99. As I said before, I shall be back with ECW Living Dangerously 99. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Click that bell for more videos like this, and drop me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I've been your saviour, Sam Graves. This has been Near Fall Reviews, and thank you for watching. This has been my review of ECW ECW Guilty as Charged 99. Living Dangerously is the next show, you plonker. Right, guys, take care, and I'll be back in the next episode.